Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sean Scanlon. I have the honor of being the comptroller of the state of Connecticut, and I am here today less in that capacity and more as the grandson of a New Haven firefighter and as the son and brother of police officers, as somebody who is deeply proud to have worked in the last 2 years alongside the governor and alongside our partners in the legislature and from the first responder community here in Connecticut to pass first the Fallen Officer Fund in 2024 and then this year the Fallen Hero Fund, which we're here today to both celebrate and watch the governor sign. The premise behind these two bills is obvious and important. It says very clearly that to every first responder in our state, our police officers, our firefighters, our EMTs, our paramedics, that every day when they get up to go to work, they put their lives on the line for the state of Connecticut. And in the tragic event where one of those individuals pays the ultimate sacrifice in service to our state, the state is going to be there to support that person's family, both in the immediate, yes. The people of Connecticut know the risks that these individuals take for us every day. In the first 2 years of the Fallen Officer Fund being in place, we tragically had to use it 2 times in the state of Connecticut in the span of 20 months. Just yesterday, in the last 24 hours, we had a state trooper rush to the hospital because of an incident in Stamford. We had 3 firefighters taken to the emergency room last night because of a fire in Wallingford. Every day, these people are putting their lives on the line for us, and we need to be there for them and their families at all times. And thanks to this bill, I'm proud to say that we will be. So with that, I want to call up a few speakers who are instrumental to help make this a reality in the state of Connecticut. And the first one is a great friend and partner of all first responders in our state, and that's this Commissioner Rennell Higgins from DESP.
Thank you. As Sean said, I know the difference between the fallen. I know what the Fallen Hero Fund is going to do for the first responders in the state of Connecticut. Financial support and health insurance can ease hardships for any family, especially those of our fallen police, firefighters, and other first responders. But above all, what this bill says to all first responders is you matter. Is you matter. These heroes are wives, their husbands, their sons, their daughters, their co-workers. They're the people standing next to you in the supermarket. They are the ones who are in line with you when you're dropping your children off in the morning at school. First responders are the glue that keeps things together in the state of Connecticut, keeps our communities together when floods and wildfires and other major incidents happen in the state of Connecticut. It's time, and I'm glad we are here today to show support and provide this additional support to all of our first responders. And I just want to say to all the first responders that are represented here today, and they spawned the spectrum of first responders in the state of Connecticut. Thank you for what you do. The state of Connecticut, I am deeply indebted to each and every one of you for what you do. Thank you.
Next up is the leader of the state police. That's Colonel Dan Rothman.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for bringing attention to this newly revised bill, which enhances the Fallen Hero Fund, which is vital to the surviving loved ones of the first responders killed in the line of duty. I'd like to express extreme gratitude and thanks to Comptroller Scanlon for his work on this, to our lawmakers for approving this legislation, and for Governor Lamont for signing it into law. My hope is that the Fallen Hero Fund will never need to be accessed, but in the event that it is needed, it provides us with coverage that is now embedded into state law. This bill adds firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics as eligible recipients of the Fallen Hero Fund, which was established in 2024 for police officers. The fund pays $100,000 to the surviving loved ones of first responders killed in the line of duty. We at the Connecticut State Police work hand in hand with firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics. Together, as a team, we respond to motor vehicle accidents, fires, and almost every other conceivable emergency. On scene, each of us has a separate and important role to play in saving lives. We all mourn together when our teammates, friends, and fellow first responders are injured or killed while simply doing their jobs in their state. This law serves as an important insurance policy for first responders and those who have been left behind. This is an owed and overdue benefit to those who make the ultimate sacrifice. It won't bring back their loved ones, but it will assure the families of the brave men and women that they won't face financial uncertainty during an inconceivably difficult time. We at the State Police have lost 26 troopers in the line of duty, 26 lives taken too soon, and 26 families deeply and tragically affected. I know from experience that they wonder how they're going to keep living without their loved one. Tragedy struck our agency back in May of last year when we lost Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier. Comptroller Scanlon immediately came into act. Comptroller Scanlon immediately contacted me after the death of Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier to ensure that he got the benefit that his family was entitled to. Today we're joined by Dominique Pelletier, the surviving spouse of Aaron Pelletier, and her and her children, Zachary and Troy, are benefiting from that fund. It helps to pay them more. Yeah. Some of the questions that the survivor of someone killed in the line of duty that they have to ask is, how are we going to pay the mortgage? How are we going to pay the doctor's bills for the children? How are we going to put food on the table? This Fallen Hero Fund, it helps to answer some of those questions that the family has. My thanks again to the legislators that made this happen, as well as Governor Lamont for making this reality. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to call up the Police Officers Association of Connecticut president and a New Haven police officer, a good friend of mine, Florencio Ocado.
Today, we stand united, honoring the ultimate sacrifice made by first responders. This legislation not only reflects the state's commitment to never leaving a hero's family behind. Importantly, municipalities will be fully reimbursed for their survivor health care coverage, so local taxpayers are not burdened while we do the right thing for them. This act is bipartisan. It's a bipartisan promise made very clear. This message, when there's a tragedy that strikes, Connecticut has the backs of first responders. We would like to thank the governor, the comptroller, the General Assembly for all their leadership and partnership, ensuring that no fallen hero's family faces uncertainty when they need it. Thank you very much for your time.
The genesis of the Fallen Officer Fund came in the wake of the great tragedy in Bristol, where 2 police officers were murdered in October of 2022. And in the legislative session of 2023, there was an idea sponsored by Representative Vinnie Candelora to create this program, but there wasn't a lot of detail in it. And so what happened is that my office was tasked with creating it, and I worked with Vinnie and a few other people to design it. But what we really did was we went and talked to some of the leaders in the first responder community. We went and talked to the police chief in Bristol who had suffered that great tragedy. And the reason for the health insurance being a part of this is because in that unfortunate situation, because of the way that their contract was structured, those 2 spouses, one of whom was pregnant at the time, was immediately kicked off of the health insurance. Bristol remedied that because they had the ability to do that within their contract, but not every municipality has that flexibility, which is why a big piece of this is to offer the health insurance on the plan that I run to the families of those who are killed, in addition to that benefit. But as I said, the wake of this, or the genesis of this, was that terrible tragedy in Bristol, but unfortunately we have suffered terrible tragedies with other first responders too. Last fall, we lost a firefighter at the Hawthorne Fire in the Farmington or Berlin area, who was a firefighter in Weathersfield, Robert Sharkovich, and we've seen other fire departments in the state lose men and women, and the New Haven Fire Department is one of those who recently had a firefighter lost in the line of duty. So I'd like to call up New Haven Fire Chief John Alston to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Comptroller Scanlon, President Pro Tem Gaston, Governor Lamont. There are so many people that made this possible. Through the legislature, through conversations and meetings, through the Joint Council, which we're a part of, through the Connecticut Career Chiefs, across all of the disciplines in our industry to bring this bill that will now become a public act to fruition. But we must not ever forget that this was always caused by tragedy and loss. And having been in this industry for over 40 years, spending time with families that have lost loved ones, they are not thinking about the next week, the next month, the holidays. They are experiencing trauma and the impact that they are going through. This bill provides some support to them. It is not compensation. It shows that we as a community care for them, and we care for the people that care for us. Nobody goes to work thinking that they're not going to come home that day. But this bill provides some comfort, some way of helping them to put their lives back on track so they don't have to worry about what that next payment will be, or that medical bill, or even the funeral expenses that have grown now. So we want to thank you for that. I cannot say enough, and I won't say much more, because we want to get this thing signed, and we want to get this in effect, so that God hoping that we don't have to use it any time in the future. I want to thank you.
Next up, I'd like to call up the EMS Advisory Board Chair, Bill Scheitinger.
Good afternoon. As Regional Director for American Medical Response and Chair of the Connecticut EMS Advisory Board, I want to thank Governor Lamont for signing the expanded Fallen Hero Fund into law. This legislation represents a meaningful step forward for EMS across our state, and it reflects a growing understanding of the essential, complex, and the dangerous work performed by EMS professionals every single day. Our EMS providers respond to some of the most difficult and unpredictable moments in people's lives. They do so with courage, professionalism, and an unwavering sense of duty. This law acknowledges their commitment and moves us closer to ensuring they have the recognition, protection, and support they deserve. I would like to express sincere gratitude to Governor Lamont for recognizing our critical role. I would also like to thank Comptroller Scanlon for his continued support, and the members of the Public Safety Committee for sponsoring and advancing this bill. And as we stand here today, I'm reminded that the EMS National Memorial Moving Honors Program is currently making its journey toward Arlington, Virginia. It serves as a powerful and solemn tribute to the fallen EMS providers who gave everything in the line of duty. Their memory fuels our advocacy and deepens our resolve to protect those who still serve. Thank you.
It's a long program, I know, but there's a lot of people that were involved in making this a reality, and the next speaker is certainly one of the most important people who, from the get-go, has been a partner in me in this, and that's the chair of the Public Safety Committee, somebody who has been a tireless advocate for first responders in the General Assembly, and that's a good friend of mine, Representative Pat Boyd.
So first, on behalf of the bipartisan makeup of the Public Safety and Security Committee, we applaud this. It was about a year ago this week that we stood in front of the Law Enforcement Memorial and had the signing for the Fallen Heroes Fund. And it was after that in the parking lot that the conversations continued that we can do better. we can secure and create a fund. To be clear, we never want to use, right? The health and safety of our first responders in all aspects of the system are number one. But if we have the unfortunate event, we want to be able to support the families for those that put their lives on the line every day. And with this today, we are doing better. And it's unfortunate that we have to use it, but the policies and the spirit and the folks that are behind me from all corners of the first responder world work together to make policies and things so that we can make a better, safe workplace if we can go forward. I would like to thank the comptroller for his leadership on this. He's very modest. He has kind of been a partner across the way. Representative Candelora and all the folks who have been part of this. And it is a good day for the state of Connecticut when the governor signs it today. Thank you.
I mentioned Representative Vinnie Candelora, the House Minority Leader. He unfortunately could not be here today, but he was very instrumental in this concept happening. And on his behalf today, we have Representative Dave Retigliano, who is another big supporter of this bill.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Representative Candelora and the entire Republican caucus, we just wanted to express our unwavering support for all our first responders, including the EMS and everybody else. We want to personally thank the leaders of the Public Safety Committee, especially Representative Boyd and Comptroller Scanlon, for all their hard work, and of course the governor for signing the bill. So thank you very much. We are so pleased to be here, and God bless everybody. All right.
Next up, I'd like to call up Representative Caitlin Shake.
Thank you so much. I'm Representative Shake. I represent the 120th District of Stratford. I'm also a nurse full-time. That's my background. This was my first session in the legislature, and thanks to the leadership of Comptroller Scanlon, my co-chairs for public safety, and from hearing from so many of these brave men and women standing behind me and in front of me, coming up to advocate for this bill and why it is so important. To me, it is absolutely essential that the state of Connecticut is doing everything possible to make sure that we are truly taking care of our first responders, and that is through action. So I'm very grateful to be able to be here with all of you, and I can't wait for the governor to sign the bill. Thank you.
Before I introduce the governor and he signs the bill, I just want to once again thank everybody for being here today. You see a lot of people behind us, and that represents a lot of people who have been part of this process and are here today on behalf of the men and women of the fire, police, and EMS services of Connecticut, and we're proud to be with them. You know, I have to say that every time I have ever called the governor with an idea about something related to this, and I tell him about it, his answer is, let's get it done. And he then backs up the words of let's get it done with action to make sure that his team is working with us to implement this. That's not just the Fallen Officer Fund, that's not just the Fallen Hero Fund. That is a change that his administration made earlier this year, that any state employee killed in the line of duty has access to the pension regardless of whether or not they had reached the eligibility of that pension or not. A significant change for our state first responders. That is a big deal. And so this is a governor that is leading the way on this, and I am so proud to work alongside him as a partner with his team. And so without further ado, our governor, Ned Lamont.
Look, thanks to Sean and Vinnie and the bipartisan coalition that's making this happen. As Sean said, our first responders at considerable risk to themselves every day go out and they have our back. And this is one more way of saying we have your back, and we also have the back of your family if something were to happen. And it's, you know, as Ronell said, it's just another way of saying, you know, you matter. You matter, and we appreciate it, not just in words, but in deeds. You know, one of the first things I did when elected was down at the firehouse in Waterbury. and we made PTSD, workers' comp covered. And everybody turned out that day. And a lot of these first responders and firefighters have been there at Sandy Hook and what that meant some years later and considerable medical risk. I was just up at New London at the firehouse there, and a presumption for firefighters and first responders of cancer. And we get you the screening and make sure that you have the coverage. And now this in terms of what we're doing here with the fallen heroes. And we're just at, they're already taking the 300-mile bike ride. Dominic, right? 300 miles, not bad, down to the memorial in Washington, D.C. It's not just symbolic, it's a way of telling all of you who do the work every day, thank you for what you do. We love you for it, and we don't forget it, and we're never going to forget your family. And that's why we're here today. I go on for an hour, but what do you say we sign the damn bill?
And with that, anybody up here happy to take any questions from the press? I don't think they would like to. Anybody else? Easiest press conference ever. Thank you all very much.